Hi guys! Today's video is about farmers markets. I was first introduced to this form of so-called food shopping in the UK 10 years ago when I was studying there. By accident, I came across to one of the farmers markets on the streets of Oxford one Saturday morning. And what I've seen and experienced amazed and impressed me a lot. And since then, I fell completely and irrevocably in love with them. For me, the best farmers markets are of course in Paris, where local small cheese and wine producers along with pastry makers offer their flavorful and incredibly tasty products to their neighborhood residents. However, Torontonian farmers markets impress me nonetheless and deserve to be mentioned. Farmers markets first appeared in Ontario more than 200 years ago in Kingston. It is hard to say how many markets there are now, but according to FMO website, there are currently about 185 markets registered with them in Ontario. Of course, not all the farmers markets register with FMO, and interestingly enough, the one that I'm going to talk about today is not. So we just arrived at the Wychwood farmers market, and hopefully I will find some farmers or food producers that will give me an interview. So let's go. Wychwood Barnes Stop Farmers Market is the one that was recommended to me the most by my chefs and friends. It is known to be one of the most really farmers markets in Toronto, as lots of the markets put the name farmers, but you will not actually meet any farmers selling their products there. The management of the stop market is also incredibly thorough when it comes to selecting farmers and food producers to be represented at Wychwood Barnes. They carefully examine applications and even visit the farms to ensure that the farming is done in a sustainable way. So, if sustainability is something of importance to you, Wychwood Barnes Farmers Market is the place to go. You will find only the sustainable and most organic foods there. Let's see what some vendors have to say about their products. Okay. Hi Peter.
Hi.
Hello again. Can you give me a little bit of your biography, your story? Why did you start to produce honey and in an organic or sustainable way?
Okay. So it was something my grandfather did in Poland, and he taught my dad how to beekeep in Canada. And when I finished university, I decided to keep bees as my own little hobby, and it grew into a full business for me.
Wow, that's nice. Do you do it as a family or?
Yeah, so my wife helps me with the sales. My dad helps me with some of the beekeeping. So it is a family business.
Why do you think it's important to produce honey in organic way?
Well, it's important to make sure the bees are healthy. That whatever we do to treat them to make sure they're healthy is done in a way that can be repeated every year. So in an organic or sustainable way.
And what do you do to make sure?
So our goal is to keep the bees healthy, so we make sure the mites are low, so these little mites that live on the bees. So we use different organic acids like formic or oxalic acid to get the mites off the bees.
Okay.
The science on take care of bees is evolving, where we have organic options to make sure the bees are healthy. And every year there's more research done that helps us make sure the bees are healthy.
Do you think it's for you have a big competition?
I guess there's a lot of beekeepers and everyone sells their honey, so there's competition and everyone has their own story and their own market, and we coexist, so we're friends with each other, but we have to.
So you don't have rivalry?
Well, there are rivals, but we're still all friends, so cool. we share the customer base.
Do you participate in any events like sustainability or honey conferences? Is there such a thing?
We're active in the Ontario Beekeeping Association with their conferences. We sell honey at different markets around the city, and then we do participate in some businesses have sustainability events for their employees, and we're there selling our honey. Yeah.
And where is your farm?
So our farm is north of Orangeville, but our bees are all over the place. We have 14 or 16 different bee yards throughout Toronto and the country.
Okay.
All right, so we'll start with the honey. We have our honey, it's all harvested based on location and season. So for example, we have our Midtown, which is Dufferin and DuPont. This is the spring harvest, which is the black locust honey. Then the Toronto Bee Rescue labels, we have a spring and fall here. and it's made at Dufferin and Finch. Then we have Rouge Valley Spring, which is made just beside Stouffville, east of Toronto, and our Headwaters Summer, which is Orangeville, Caledon area. So we harvest everything by season and location, so every jar of honey tastes different based on the flowers the bees are feeding on. Then we make vinegar with our honey, which is right here. So we take our honey, ferment it to alcohol, and then convert the alcohol into vinegar. So
I have never heard about this.
So it's a naturally fermented, so it's a really cool product. Then we have honeycomb, cream honeys, so it's just crystallized honey that's soft, and we flavor it with cinnamon, cocoa, ginger, or lemon. And then we have honeycomb.
I myself am not so interested in honey. Not my favorite type of food since the childhood, when my granny was forcing me to eat honey with hot milk when I was sick. But to my surprise, the vinegar that I bought from Toronto Bee Rescue was kind of amazing. Take into account that I'm also not a big fan of vinegar. This honey vinegar does not have such an acid taste and smell as the ones that are sold in supermarkets, and has a fruity berry flavor to it, which goes really well with the salads. Plus, the pricing is quite affordable. Apart from the farmers themselves, you can also see lots of so-called makers at the farmers markets that sell handmade, sustainable home products. One of the makers that I liked the most at the Wychwood Barns was the upcyclery that sells beeswax wraps among other products. I myself use beeswax wraps at home and cut unrecyclable waste in that way. Small thing to do, but what a positive impact on the environment. From the food producers, the Yin Yin soy foods was a real eye-opening for me. Given a mostly vegan household, we consume quite a bit of tofu at home, but never did I think that tofu might not be so good for your health. There is not many ingredients in tofu, so I never thought that something harmful could be added to it by the mass producers. I was wrong, and the owner of Yin Yin soy food was kind enough to enlighten me on this topic. Side note, he is really passionate about his products.
Well, what I mean is it only takes two things to make tofu. You need soybean, you need coagulants. And the tofu has been made with nigari or magnesium since 200 BC, since the beginning. And from there until the 1950s, 60s, that's when they start mass production. And today, tofu making involves something it's hard to believe, but it's real. They use something labeled as calcium sulfate. And in case you don't know, that's the same stuff in drywall.
In what?
In drywall. It's gypsum.
Okay.
This is why we call ours the real tofu, because magnesium, I'm not sure you know, but most likely you do. Magnesium is essential for our heart, our bone, fundamental in children's growth, and for seniors, it's fact. They all pop the pill because we're all deficient.
Amazing, huh? I was really interested to learn more about tofu. His pricing is also really good, just about the same as in the supermarkets, and he also sells his products in several retail locations in Toronto, which are listed on his website, so check it out. I've also met some wine producers at the market, like Stratus. Stratus produces sustainable, organic and vegan wine in Niagara-on-the-Lake region. I even got one Riesling white, and it was incredible. As the representative told me, they sell only at Wychwood Barns Market, and some wine they also sell at the LCBO in the vintage wine section. I went to the LCBO the same day to check it out, and unfortunately I couldn't find any, so something to consider. Besides farmers, makers and producers, one can also find sustainable food consultants at the market. The ones that I've met and talked to were Rebecca Shepherd from Collectiva Wellness and Samantha Krumholz from the Wine and Vintage.
Samantha from Vine and Vintage. We do food and wine pairing events. So Sam is the wine expert, and she focuses on organic and sustainable wines. And then I prepare vegan, organic, and gluten-free food pairings.
Amazing. Our event series is called Wellness and Wine. So this is just one of the recipes that we use at our events, and just to show you that you don't have to always have meat and cheese at events, at wine events. You can have something different that pairs really well, and yeah, you can have a really good time.
Overall, without any exaggeration, I had such an amazing experience going to the Wychwood Barnes Farmers Market. It was not only really interesting to talk to the vendors there, but also incredibly inspiring to hear their stories and get to know their products and philosophy. I really liked farmers market before, and I like them even more. I think it's very important nowadays to be best of ourselves in terms of sustainability. Our planet really needs this from us right now. Farmers markets do a great job by enabling the local farmers and promoting the cause. They are environmentally concerned, and they're social, and they're economically attractive. You can get really good deals sometimes there. Of course, farmers markets are usually working just once a week, and of course it's not super convenient as ordering online from the Walmart, but products and experience that you take away from attending a farmers market could not be bought online. At least right now, we are working on it. Talking about sustainability, it's worth to mention one of my recent projects, Selfish Llama. It's eco-friendly, recyclable and BPA-friendly silicone straws. Check out Selfish Llama's Instagram page for more information and cool cocktail recipes. Like, follow, and if you want to order them, they're available on US Amazon. Thank you for listening. As always, super pumped to be granted with your attention. If you like my video and want to watch more of such content, please subscribe to my channel, like, and leave a comment below. Thank you again, and until later.
Can I get some attention? There is something I need to say.